Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today for Midweek Momentum. My name is Marty M. Fonke. I'm your host, and I appreciate you joining me, whether you're live at midweekmomentum.com or whether you're checking us out on video. Today's topic for Midweek Momentum is the importance of the follow-up. I've had some really interesting experiences in the last little week on the topic of follow-up with regard to business people who I'm trying to contract with. So I thought I'd tell the story a little bit and see how you might learn something to apply for your business as well. So here's the story. I'm working with a client, and we're helping to create a pretty high-level marketing strategy for them that requires some particular type of technology. And it's called enterprise-level email marketing technology. So this is much bigger than, say, a Constant Contact or something that's kind of a self-service $30 a month email service. But this is an enterprise level, very expensive. But if you do it right, can make you a lot of money if you're a good-sized business. So I have right now a $150,000 to $200,000 annual contract that I am looking to give to somebody. Now that's not millions of dollars by any means, but it's certainly not an insignificant sum, and you would think that somebody might be interested in receiving that money. And one of the things that I've found with a lot of people is they say, well, it's too hard to sell in this environment. Nobody has any money to spend, or with the economy the way it is, or the recession as bad as it is, nobody's spending. And the reality is that a lot of people are indeed spending. What we're seeing, though, is that people aren't selling. And this is really kind of a lesson in selling and a lesson in following up with prospective business. So here's little old me. I'm out there, and I've identified a contract opportunity that I can place with somebody. And I reach out and I contact 23 targeted vendors who are in the space that I am looking to contract with. And I did a LinkedIn post and asked people who they thought they would recommend based on what I was looking for. Put out some feelers to some other people that I knew for some recommendations. And of course, I already knew several of the players in the space, but I was actually pleasantly surprised to learn about a couple of other vendors who would fit really, really well with what I'm looking for. I spent some time to draft two documents. One was kind of a preliminary explanation of what I was looking for, and an invitation to contact me to get an RFP, which is a request for proposal. And then the other document that I created was a formal RFP, which is about 12 pages long, and it outlined exactly in detail what we were looking for, how we were planning on using it, and how much we're looking to spend. So it all came down to I had 23 potential vendors who I was interested in doing business with. And I contacted each of those 23 vendors. And the way I contacted them was through their contact forms on their websites. I didn't call them, and I did not send them emails. I used their contact forms because I've found that sending emails cold can oftentimes wind up with me ending up in their spam folder. And so I've always tried and use contact forms whenever possible. That avoids the spam folder. So you'd think, well, if I was one of those vendors, I would be one of 23 that might be chosen. And your odds would be 1 in 23 of getting my business. Well, here's what happened. It's been a week and a half, and we're almost to the deadline of being able to respond at all. And 9 of those vendors, 9 of those 23, have never even gotten back to me. They've never called, they've never emailed, they've never done anything. So they are off the list already. 2 vendors did respond to my initial inquiry. They either asked a question or two or just acknowledged that they received my inquiry and somebody would get back to me. And then nothing has happened since then. 2 of the vendors received the information and for whatever reason has decided not to pursue our business. And that's fine. One, it was because we were really kind of outside the scope of what they do. And even though they sort of do it, they recommended another company, which I'd already had on my list. And the other one was a size issue. They specialize in much larger contracts than even $200,000 a year. And so they opted out because we were too small for them. Great. At least they got back to me. So what was the bottom line? Out of 23 potential vendors, as we said right now, only 10 are left to choose from. So now if somebody had actually followed up with me, gotten back to my email, given me a call, received the RFP, and they would be 1 out of 10 that I would have to choose from. And that's less than 50% of my initial inquiries. So in a little more than a week, I went from 23 potential vendors down to 10 potential vendors just because 11 of them haven't even bothered to follow up. And so that is why it's so important, if you are in business, for your momentum, if you get any inquiries at all about your business, follow up. So many times people don't follow up with me. I meet them at a reception or at a networking event or at a seminar or a conference, and they might be a perfect vendor for me to work with, and they never follow up, and so we don't do business. And other times I have a situation like this where I've got the money in hand, nearly $250,000 to spend, and they don't even follow up with me. So if you want to have momentum in your business, you've got to be sure to follow up. And that is my midweek momentum tip for today, the importance of following up. Thanks for checking us out. And if you want to learn more ideas, strategies, and tactics to propel your business forward, be sure and check us out at midweekmomentum.com.